Research shows that 76% of print-on-demand stores fail. But it's not because the owners are lazy, it's because they're falling victims to one or more of the 5 silent profit killers I'm about to break down today. Because you don't need more ad hacks, you don't need more SEO tips, and you definitely don't need more designs. You need to watch this video all the way to the end to discover the truth nobody warned you about. And most importantly, the tactics you can use to stop the bleeding starting today. Now, I'm Mike Ayo. I helped our air freshener brand grow to over $500,000 a year in online sales. But most importantly for you, I've helped thousands of sellers scale their online stores. Like Rhonda, who grew her print-on-demand store to over $100,000 a month. Or Kelly, who grew her merch brand to over $20,000 a month. Or Faint, whose print-on-demand merch brand hit over $30,000 a month. And I could keep going because I actually do e-com and I help sellers like you every day. I love this shit. Now let's talk about the #1 most deadly mistake that destroys sales. Silent killer #1, the margin death spiral. This common yet deadly mistake wipes out at least 50% of beginners before they ever have a chance. Why? They all jump into t-shirts, mugs, and tote bags because it feels easy and all the gurus tell you to sell stuff like this. But Houston, you got a problem. I want you to picture this. One seller I was talking to named Jenna was selling print-on-demand t-shirts for $19.99 plus free shipping. Because of the competition she saw on Etsy and hundreds of other stores, she was underwater. But it wasn't because of what you might think. Her designs were actually fire and she was making sales, lots of them. No, she was drowning because of the math. Let's say you have a base cost of $10 for the shirt, another $5 for shipping. Your cost is about 15 bucks. Sell it for 20, you make 5, right? Wrong, because you may have to deal with platform fees, more on that in a second, potential advertising costs, business overhead, and more to actually sell that shirt, which means you are barely making anything per sale. In fact, you might be losing money because cheap, high competition items like these have you working harder and harder, but your bank account either isn't moving or it's going down. That's why I call it the margin death spiral. Now compare that to one of my other students like Faint selling premium hoodies for $60 and varsity jackets for $100 with $20 to $50 of profit per sale. She can sell 5 times less than Jenna and still make more with the exact same effort. That's crazy, right? It's kind of like comparing a treadmill to a Porsche. Which one is going to get you to your destination faster? So let's avoid the cheap products that every other newbie is selling and focus on where the real money is made. Higher end items like wall art, jackets, all over prints, and personalized pieces are where the real print-on-demand money is made. This is something I cover in the POD Profits cheat sheet. You can grab a free copy of that in the description below. But there's a trap even worse than low margins, one that creates the illusion of safety for a beginner while you're slowly bleeding out. Silent killer #2, the Etsy trap. Etsy, the platform that feels safe but secretly handicaps your income because you get free traffic, instant trust. You can even run ads to reach more people, right? That's why all the gurus tell you to start here. Here's the problem nobody warns you about. Etsy owns the traffic, Etsy owns the customers, Etsy owns you, which means you can't build an email list, you can't retarget buyers. In fact, they'll even advertise your competitors' products to your buyers. Imagine that. And they can change the algorithm or even shut down your account for whatever BS reason they come up with. It's like renting a kiosk inside of a mall. You piss off the landlord and you're out. I call that the platform power gap because when you sell on a marketplace style platform like Etsy or even Amazon, they get all this power and you get none. Versus a platform that gives you power and ownership of the customers that you worked your ass off to get. So if you're gonna use Etsy, only use it as a testing ground for your designs, not a permanent home. Instead, let's graduate to a platform like Shopify where you own the data and your brand. But even if you escape or avoid the Etsy trap altogether, this next silent killer can still destroy everything that you built. Silent killer #3, using trademarked images, phrases, and logos. This $750,000 to $150,000 pitfall can come out of nowhere and cripple your brand. Every week, I meet new sellers who do this. They find trending movie quotes, Marvel and Star Wars characters, and other pop culture mainstays. They think, hey, that'll sell, throw it on a t-shirt. And it does sell, until it doesn't. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to protect your brand. One seller I talked to named Keith was selling print-on-demand shirts and blankets for kids with Disney princesses on them. They were so cute. They blew up. I'm talking hundreds of orders. But then came a cease and desist letter. His store was shut down, his funds were frozen, and his six-figure dream came crashing to a halt. Because just one design can lead to a lawsuit and a $750 to $150,000 fine. And no, Disney lawyers don't care if you're just getting started. So how do you stay safe and creative? You steal like a strategist. You steal the vibe. You steal the emotion or the visual cues that only a true fan would recognize, but not the actual trademark, because it is still art. Never forget that. It's kind of like music. You can't steal the melody and the hook. No, you build a new song around a recognizable jam. You gotta remix, baby. Remix a winning vibe and turn it into an original expression. More on that in a sec. But first, do yourself a favor. Before uploading or even starting a design, please head over to tmsearch.uspto.gov and do a search for the phrase you want to use. So for example, right, we're going to come over here to tmsearch.uspto.gov. And again, you can literally just type in different terms, different ideas, different themes, and you can see. So here I did it more, it's morphin time, right? And look, it says it's live. Why? Because that's from the Power Rangers, right? What's another really popular one that we might see, right? Faith Over Fear. We see that a ton. Bang, live. So you just want to be aware of the type of terms that you are searching for. And just, again, we're just looking for different terms, looking for different keys, looking for different names, right? Things that we might want to put in an ad. If the phrase is live, just moonwalk away, baby. Even if your designs are legal, most sellers still fail. Why? Because the next silent profit killer is so shockingly common. You're probably making it right now. Silent killer number 4, promoting weak designs. See, business logos, random creativity, and whatever AI spits out. Designs like these are gambles, because when you're just tossing that kind of stuff on merch and hoping it sells, you're rolling dice, and the odds are not in your favor. That's why record labels make artists bring them commercially viable singles, as in songs that sound like they'll sell, before they'll pump in more money, because they know those singles will produce 80% of the money that comes from the project. No single, no money. Most print-on-demand stores that fail because they didn't create singles. And that's why they don't make money. Luckily, I put together a design hacking formula to help you pick designs that practically sell themselves. Instead of making hundreds of designs and throwing them at the wall, maybe just follow these 4 simple steps. Research, remix, release, review. Research is where we're finding proven sellers. Remix is when we're combining winning elements. Release is when we're publishing at least 5 variations fast. Review is where we're gonna take a look at results, keep what moves, and cut what doesn't. So let's talk about research. So let's say I want to do a little bit of research and I want to try to find a winning design. I'm gonna head over to Etsy and I can do a search, again, depending on what you're looking to sell and what your niche is, where we want to find proven sellers. So let's say I wanted to find, say, maybe Christian wall art. And now what I'm looking for is how many reviews does something have? You see this has 7,000 reviews on it, right? I'm gonna pay attention to this. This one has 7,000 reviews on it. That has 2,000 reviews on it, compared to something that has like 35 reviews on it. This has 5,000 reviews versus 174 reviews. And yes, you can see that folks are even using these pieces in ads. So this is a way to know that, hey, okay, something like this is potentially selling, right? That's a Christian wall art. Maybe we'll say Christian hoodie. So again, I want to pay attention to things where I can see a lot of commercial signs. I'm looking for things that have multiple reviews, several thousand reviews, because this can give me an indication on how popular a design is. There's 2 elements to a winning design. There's what does it say, and then there's the design itself. This one here, it says, faith over fear. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do to me? That's what it says. But then a design-wise, you see it kind of has this like, the text is kind of angled like that. And as you'll find, you'll see here another example. You have the example of here's what it says, and here is how it's structured, right? Same kind of curvy messaging, but it says something different. And you can do this type of a search with anything, right? Anything that you want to sell, any type of product. We can do a search on Etsy and we're looking for, okay, what has thousands of reviews? That's just an indication that, okay, there's some potential here. Now we want to remix it. We want to remix the message. We want to remix the structure using a tool like Canva or an app like Midjourney or even ChatGPT. Then we want to release it, right? We're going to create 3 to 5 variations and get feedback on them by calling your friends, emailing your current customers, running cheap Facebook ads, right? Just to get a feel for which people will resonate with the best. Because we're gonna review and we're gonna keep what excites people and we're gonna cut what doesn't. Because remember, you don't need hundreds or even dozens of designs to start printing money. You just need a few singles. Feint made $20,000 with this t-shirt design alone. Piper Lou has been advertising this same damn Tumblr design for 5 years straight. So use the design hacking formula to rapidly find winning designs instead of guessing, gambling, or wasting your time. But I got another secret for you. It seems a little weird, counterintuitive, but shh, it's quietly making sellers rich. Silent killer number 5, the oversaturated market myth. Experts are projecting the global print-on-demand markets climbing from 6 billion to over 40 billion by 2031. But every week I hear the same thing. The market's too crowded. The niche is too saturated. The opportunities are gone. Listen, most of the time, saturation is good. Crowded markets are proof of demand and pre-existing buyers. Saturation doesn't kill opportunity. Being a boring, me too, please pick me is what kills your opportunity. Your job is to sound different, be different, not disappear or run away from money being spent right in front of you. So if you're passionate about a niche, if you feel like your personal life, your experiences, your passions, your hobbies, or your tastes give you an advantage in that niche, that's exactly where you need to be, regardless of how competitive it is. But when you do stroll into a saturated market, you do need to start climbing the differentiation ladder. Level 1, you want to try a different product angle, right? Move away from t-shirts and try something different. Number 2, the message. Right? Try a new messaging angle. Funny, snarky, edgy, something you haven't seen. Number 3, the offer. Make sexier offers than what's already in the market. And no, I don't just mean a discount. It could mean free bonuses, a portion of the proceeds going to charity, and more. And level 4, the brand story. Why should they buy from you? What story can we tell to bring the customer closer to you or the face of your brand? What can we do to create a personal connection through social media, video content, and more that the competition can't or won't do? One of my students named Sabrina sells an ultra saturated Christian apparel and accessories niche, and she nailed this differentiation ladder perfectly. Instead of selling t-shirts like everyone else, she hit the market with print-on-demand sneakers, which was a product angle nobody else was selling. Instead of just selling a tote bag, she leveled up her offer by including a free matching wristlet with each purchase. Instead of just selling a blanket with a message, she sold personalized blankets that she had shipped to her first so she could anoint it with oils and prayer. Just this step alone allowed her to do more than just stand out. She used it to dramatically increase the price because she was selling a story 90% of her competition was unwilling to do. That crowded space became her 7-figure lane. So the next time you see some competition, don't tuck your tail and run, climb the ladder and sit on top of the crowd. And remember, that's just a marketplace, which means your products are always surrounded by competition. If you're building your own brand on Shopify, like I mentioned earlier, you can pop your winning designs into your ideal customer social media feeds and escape all the noise. So now that you know the silent profit killers, let me ask you another question. Have you made any of these mistakes before? Did any of the tactics stand out to you? Let me know in the comments. I read every one. And if you're serious about fixing them, make sure you grab my print on demand profits cheat sheet. You can grab it in the description below. But if you're sick of Etsy's fees and competition and you're ready to take control with your own Shopify store, you should watch this video where I break down tips to build a high converting Shopify store next.